Tonight, Ross talks about daddies.
Shane, I love you lots. Will you be me daddy?
Ross has a fit. Ah! And we take a look at why Shane McMahon is the best in the world.
WTF!
Yes, I used that face-app thing for the first time ever yesterday, and yes, I will be Jeremy Clarkson from the Top Gear or the Grand Tour when I grow old, but luckily, a cardiac arrest or the diabetes will claim my life by then. But yes, I am Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic.com. You are a sexual wank faisan, and welcome to all the WTF moments from last night's SmackDown Live. And you know, when you're sat there watching SmackDown Live, you're thinking, oh, this is quite pleasant, this. Apart from when Shane McMahon, who of course is the best professional wrestler in the world today, is on our screens. You're thinking, oh, this is quite nice, this. I'm having a great time watching SmackDown Live. But when the show's finished, you think to yourself, oh, what's happened during that episode of SmackDown Live? If somebody asked me what happened on last night's SmackDown Live, I couldn't piss and tell them, because while the things we saw were quite nice, nothing really happened. It was one of those SmackDown Lives last night, I thought. So meh. The joy, it only lasted one show. In the words of mid-noughties pop sensation, the feeling, I thought it was over, but it's not. Colonel McSweaty Bollocks was back on our screen, and Jesus Christ, didn't they make up for lost time? How much Shane McMahon is too much Shane McMahon for one show? Let me tell you now, it was last night's SmackDown Live. He was on that thing for too much. As I said last week, the only bad thing to come out of Kevin Owens' greatness from last week's show is a bona fide rivalry for Colonel McSweaty Bollocks, and who wants to see him really? But Colonel McSweaty Bollocks kicked off last night's SmackDown Live by hosting the SmackDown Live Town Hall, where the superstars of SmackDown Live could air any grievances right to his sweaty mug. Basically, Shane McMahon is now Michael Scott, and if you don't understand that reference, that means you don't watch the US Office, which of course is my favourite show, apart from WWE Raw and SmackDown Live. And quite frankly, that's a crime on your part. Anyways, the point I'm making is, Shane McMahon pulled in Michael Scott. Michael Scott is supposed to be incompetent, even though deep down, he's rather clever and quite devilish. But of course, Shane McMahon did a Michael Scott with tons more sweat and tons more ego. So Tom Phillips reckons the entire SmackDown Live roster are on the stage, and immediately after he said that line, I spotted the beefy, beautiful, Scottish, Undertaker-like head of one Big Drew McIntyre. He's a Raw superstar. And of course, I'm sure there's even more Raw superstars in that shot there, but with the wildcard rule continuing to be brilliant and so easy to follow, I don't know why I'm even complaining. But could that be Liv? Liv Morgan, the woman whose real name in real life is Gianna Jean Daddio, Daddy herself? A woman who was drafted to SmackDown Live all the way back on April the 16th, only to never appear on SmackDown Live ever. She was actually there though last night, and she should be used more. Use her more, WWE, you cocks. But then Liv went and stuck her foot right in the daddy-o when she asked Charlotte Flair if there's anything real about Charlotte Flair, while she stood there with that hair there and that tongue there, as Charlotte Flair herself pointed out quite rightly. But who really cares when your real life birth name is Gianna Jean Daddio? Look it up on Wikipedia if you don't believe me, it's there. Go on, Liv. And then we had Apollo Crews step up after he and the rest of the world watching last night's SmackDown Live heard Charlotte Flair and Buddy Bloody Murphy butter the sweaty taint of Shane McMahon. Oh, Christ, I've just realised all of this Kiss My Ass talk from the likes of Roman Reigns and the likes of Kevin Owens is building up to the Kiss My Sweaty Taint Club hosted by Shane McMahon, isn't it? Anyway, after Charlotte and Buddy Bloody Murphy both stood up there on the stage and said, Shane, I love you lots, will you be me daddy? Apollo stepped up with all of his charisma and claimed that everybody, including himself, agreed with what Kevin Owens said on last week's SmackDown Live. Well, two people just didn't, so open your ears, pal. Best professional wrestler in the world, my arse. Kevin Owens kicks him in the gut, setting him up for the KO stunner. I don't know what it's called. Let me know in the comments below. Shane McMahon does his old routine and of course falls down to the mat when he wasn't supposed to. Botchy McBotch botch, Shane McMahon, get in the bin. That's a bit too graphic for public, isn't it, you dirty bastard? Get this right, everybody. Aleister Black and Big Dick Tony, that's Cesaro, to the common people who don't know his real life nickname backstage in WWE. Well, those two, they did that bottle cap challenge thing, but the bottle was Cesaro's mouth and the cap was Cesaro's gum shield. It still wasn't as good as my attempt though. Roll the footage. But just let these two wrestle every single week, WWE, because it's absolutely amazing every single time. Kevin Owens says that he wants to give matches to the people that the people actually want to see, said Dolph Ziggler. I always make things happen, said Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler was trying to make a match happen between him and Kevin Owens, and apparently that's a match that the people want to see, and apparently Dolph Ziggler always makes things happen. Dolph, nobody wants to see you do anything on WWE TV apart from bugger off. Throughout the WTF Moments videos this week alone, Dolph Ziggler, I have gone through all of the steps WWE has done over the past 5 years maybe to kill off your character one step at a time, yet still you are there spouting the same old bollocks that nobody watching the show is buying whatsoever. But I did work out last night that there's now 3 types of heat. There's proper heat, there's heat, there's big bully bastard Baron Corbin / X-Pac go with heat, and now there's Dolph Ziggler heat. You know the feeling when you're down the pub and it just has to happen, doesn't it? That lonely drunk man at the bar has to come and sit at your table and say words right to your face without breathing. That feeling that overcomes you, that just wants him to go away and bother somebody else, that's the feeling that overcomes me every single time I see Dolph Ziggler on WWE TV today. I just can't believe we're here after everything that's happened this year alone and he's still got such a prominent role. It's broken. Bin it. And then we have Liv Morgan, the woman whose real name is Gianna Jean. Or Jean. Maybe it's Jean. Oh, that's a lot better, isn't it? Gianna Jean Daddio, the daddy herself, having an actual wrestling match on SmackDown Live. A wrestling match with Gianna Jean Daddio actually happening on SmackDown Live, the brand where Gianna Jean Daddio actually apparently works. Who would have thought that this brilliant wildcard rule in WWE, which is just so brilliant and so easy to follow, would be sending superstars all the way to bastard Timbuktu and then back again? But Liv Morgan, it proves that's actually happening. It was good to see her though. Didn't she do well? This was the problem with the Riot Squad, in my opinion, way back in day. Liv Morgan, Gianna Jean Daddio, would only get 2 minutes to show her stuff in any Riot Squad match, and that's just not enough, isn't it? Hopefully she'll get used more now and get to show everybody what a talented young woman she is. She's 25. Sickening. Charlotte was right, she says. When I come back, I'm going to be real. Please, WWE, please let this mean you're going to be using Gianna Jean Daddio as her ring name going forward. Just give her the gimmick of the Daddy Slayer. Sorry, the Daddy Slayer. Printing money, I tell you. I wonder, with those big black things that are on the stage that weren't there before, and with this being SmackDown Live, who has a women's champion who uses those big black things during her entrance, they pop up and go, woo, and stuff like that. Who on earth could be Ember Moon's mystery partner? Nice work, cameraman. I bet you're the same man who stuck your camera right up Lacey Evans' arsehole on Sunday, you bloody diddler. Not in the Cultaholic reference. So next up we have Bayley, who is all like, I want to face somebody with charisma. Somebody I've never faced before. I want to wrestle somebody who changes their eyeballs every single week. Ember Moon, wrestle me at SummerSlam. But then Tom Phillips says we'll have to wait and see if that match is made official, which brought a WTF moment to my mind. Remember at the start of the show where Charlotte Flair was buttering Shane McMahon's sweaty taint with all kinds of compliments? I believe that if Ember Moon, a baby face, is given that match against Bayley at SummerSlam, that's got to be a WTF moment in the kayfabe sense, because surely, with Charlotte Flair the only woman buttering that sweaty, hairy taint, she should be getting all the matches. Just to be clear, I don't want to see Charlotte Flair in that match at SummerSlam. We've seen Charlotte Flair in championship matches way too much, in my opinion. But in kayfabe, which is how these WTF Moments videos works, Because if they didn't have kayfabe, I could just go, oh, it's wrestling. Yeah. Surely the babyface who didn't show her support for Shane McMahon shouldn't be getting the opportunities like that. So Daniel Bryan's big announcement was, he's got stage fright. And that's really weird for a man who has lived that life for about 20 plus years now. So wait there, Kofi Kingston compared a real life snack to a trouser snack, and that Randy Orton's trouser snack was a little bit soft instead of being a rock hard trouser snack. And for some reason, Randy Orton was infuriated by this, despite the fact he's 39 years of age, and surely when you're 39, having a rock hard trouser snack that is actually a floppy thing isn't something that happens. That's something that happens way later in life. So why was Randy Orton angered by all this trouser snack talk? Wrestlers are very childish, aren't they? I don't know how Kane did this, said R-Truth. There ain't no bathroom in here, said R-Truth. When the hell did Kane rise up out of a washing machine or a tumble dryer or whatever the hell that thing is there? I mean, he always had pristine whites, but that's a separate issue altogether. What was that meant to be a wrestling ring? What was R-Truth doing here? Let me know in the comments below. So it turns out the bloody IIconics or WWE Raw superstars, and that is news to me, so I thought I would share it with you now. However, after sharing that news to you right now, I have looked at both Wikipedia and WWE.com that have both the bloody IIconics listed as SmackDown Live superstars, thus proving more, if it needed proving anymore, that the wildcard rule is both brilliant and just so easy to follow. Apollo Crews showing charisma. Oh my God! Wow! I have no idea what walking like Vince McMahon with a coat hanger stuck in his suit jacket shoulders was about, but damn it, I loved it! And of course, with Apollo Crews winning a match on last night's SmackDown Live, I would normally make that a WTF moment, but judging what happened later in the show, with another victory for somebody else, I just don't think I could do it, so I didn't. So you take big, bad, beefy Drew McIntyre versus Cedric Alexander from this week's Raw. You shrink Drew slightly, you pump some steroids into Cedric, and you get Andrade versus Apollo Crews from this week's SmackDown Live. Was it just me, or did those matches side by side feel exactly the same? God, it's so great to live in this era of the brand extension with Raw and SmackDown Live having their own exclusive rosters and their own shows with their own identities, isn't it? Now, as we can see here, a grown man has been sent to the naughty corner. Face the wall, you naughty boy.
Yep, I wrong. Yep, I wrong.
So next up we have Byron Saxton not being able to work out which of the two following scenarios is more shocking. So first of all, we have Kevin Owens being allowed back into the arena. You know, Kevin Owens, potentially the top babyface on SmackDown Live these days, a bona fide main eventer, the man who was stealing all the headlines on SmackDown Live as we stand here in July of 2019, or Dolph Ziggler being allowed to main event SmackDown Live by Colonel McSweaty Bollocks. Dolph Ziggler, who of course is as useless as a wet towel when you're trying to dry yourself. Tough one that, Byron, isn't it? So we end things with a rather sobering WTF moment, and a WTF moment that might make me faint. It's that monumental. So Kevin Owens, during that match against Dolph Ziggler, stone cold KO stunned Shane McMahon, and because Shane McMahon had brought thousands of massive sweaty heel men down to the ringside area, Kevin Owens ran away. In the middle of that match, no bell was rung, so presumably Dolph Ziggler won by count out, which presumably means that Dolph Ziggler won a match. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. And if you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can play us to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. Hit subscribe and join us.